French fries.
Hello everyone, Raven here, and welcome back to The World Ends With You, my favorite game on the Nintendo DS. This time around we're talking about single playthrough pins and noise, that with the latter annoying me tremendously. Now the game has quite a few single playthrough elements, such as certain pins that are file specific, so at stores, and some of the pins can only be obtained once per playthrough, but I will show you how to get more of them. And certain threads like the my phones, you can only get once per playthrough since they are from secret reports and there's no way to obtain more. And of course, the most annoying to me is that for the pig noise, you can only fight them once per game. So say the lowest level defeated, if you forgot to set it to 1, it will forever remain at whatever level it is. Now another thing is pins like the red skull or rhyme cannot be sold and they will just accumulate in your inventory and you cannot ever get rid of them. Well, back in the days of Game Boy Advance, there's this game called Plaster World where using the link cable you can use characters to unlock in-game features, and this concept is very similar to Amiibo. But for The World Ends With You, it's a concept very similar to Street Pass, which is the mingle feature where you can exchange information with other players that walk past you. And with this feature you can, using whichever pins you want here, you can set up a shop for your friends, and by using pins that you can obtain only once per playthrough, your friend can now get more than one of it. After mingling, your friend's shop should show up here on the right corner, and you can buy any pins you want from him, including pins that are only obtainable once per playthrough. The full list of pins that require this method to obtain more than one of is as follows: pin 52, 56, 75, 79, 99, 116, 136, 137, 141, 149, 174, 205, 229, and 300. Well, most of these are like brand boosting pins or like pins of angel class, so you won't really need more than one of them, but of course it's nice to have, such as pins like this. Just to give y'all a peek at my Nintendo collection, this DS has been with me for 15 years. This is my usual setup for mingling between two consoles. I have actually two different games with two different playthroughs, but only one of them is my main that I'm trying to 100%. And yeah, depending on my mood, I'll play on my 15-year-old DS or on my Monster Hunter Edition 3DS if I want a bigger screen. But yes, remember that for the 3DS you need to turn on your Wi-Fi in order to do mingling. I also have a DS Lite and another new 3DS tucked away. I can show you all that another time. And in order to have access to all the single playthrough pins I talked about earlier, I mingled 4 different times with different names, the same save file, but I just changed the name in the DS, so it saves 4 different shops in the French shop. And here, just to give you all a look at how the mingling works, after entering you just press start, and since the DS are just next to each other, it happens relatively fast. It will show up here as Espers since it's a save file. And then yeah, that's it. You have your friends pins saved to the shop, and you also gain 50 mingling points, which is very useful for obtaining certain pins. And you can keep doing this over and over again. Well, other than pins, the other problem I have while trying to 100% the game is the pig noise. Now, they are pretty easy to defeat at level 1 when you encounter them, but the issue is that I did not know that they record the lowest level you defeat each noise at until very much later in post game. And yeah, it's very annoying. There's no way I can get that number down, and I did not want to restart my entire game because I've made a lot of progress and I'm pretty satisfied with the file specific pins that I got. So yeah, I had to find some way to change that number. Before I continue, the link to the action replay codes can be found in the description below. A Google Sheets link allowing you to edit your noise report as you wish. And yeah, please subscribe. I'll now go on to give a elementary school refresher course on how to count, and then I'll go on to talk about how those codes were found in game. So for the counting system, we are used to decimal system. Each digit can hold 10 numbers from 0 to 9, and once we run out of space, we would carry it forward to the next digit on the left to 1, then 0, and then this continues on until 90, until 99, and then we run out of space on 2 digits. We need another one, and that will be your 100. So at each digit, here would be 10 to the power of 0, here would be 10 to the power of 1, 10 to the power of 2, and then at your thousands, 10 to the power of 3. So an increase in each digit is 10 times that of the digit on the right. Say at the hundreds position, an increase 1 here is 10 times an increase of 1 at the tens position. And that's how our normal counting system works. Then for binary, we have less numbers per digit. The one digit can only have 0 or have 1. So there's only 2 digits available. So once you have 1, you run out of space in this digit, you need your next one, and this would represent 2. Your 1, 0 actually counts as 2. And then after that, for 3, you can increase here. This is 3. And you run out of space. So for 4, you'd want to create another digit and increase that by 1. So this is actually 4. So how it works is that at each position, it represents 2 to the power of something instead of 10. So like say a increase in 1 here is 2 to the power of 3, which is your 8. So you have 8 over here plus 4 over here, and this 1100, for example, would be 12. So an increase in each digit is twice the increase of the digit on the left. So as say here, an increase is 4, while here an increase is 2, so it's twice the increase. And yeah, that's how your binary system works. Then for hexadecimals, there's actually more numbers per digit. It goes from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then after 9, it uses alphabets to represent. A is 10, B is 11, and so on and so forth. A, B, C, D, E, F would be 15. So once it hits F, you run out of space for 1 digit, and then you go to the next digit. So here, 1 is actually, or 10 is actually 16 in hexadecimal. Then you continue on increasing your digits until F. Here would increase 2, and then until here it's F, and here also F, which is this would give you 255 with just 2 digits. So this allows you to store more numbers with fewer digits. And then now you run out of space for 2 digits, you move on to the next one. So a 1 here, a 1, 0, 0. This is actually a 256, 16 squared. Now, so this, an increase in each digit here would be 16 to the power of 0, 16 to the power of 1, 16 to the power of 2, and so on and so forth, 16 to the power of 3. So an increase in a digit is 16 times that the increase of the digit on the right. So like here at 16 squared, an increase by 1 is 16 times the increase here on this digit. And that's how hexadecimal works. You can store more numbers with fewer digits. Now, if you have trouble converting the numbers into hexadecimal, you can use tools such as a hex calculator like this, and then you can input your decimal number. Say if you want your noise level to be 80, it will give you the hexadecimal value, which in this case is 50. And then like you can also do it the other way around, hexadecimal giving you the value here. This can be used for your action replay code, like say if you want the number of noise defeated to be 3501, the last four numbers in your AR code you want to change to 0DAD. Here is how the Google Sheet looks like. You can set the lowest level defeated in your noise report over here with these codes, and I gave instructions on what to change to your desired level. You can set the noise report stars unlock, the pins unlock, the 4 stars you see over there. If you want all of them to be stars, you do all the zeros followed by an F, and also the number of noise defeated, you can edit it as well. Yeah, I'll show you how I came out with all these codes. To use the codes, if you're on the 3DS, you can use the Twilight menu, or if you have an R4 for your DS Lite, you can use that in the cheat list, or use an emulator to edit your save file, and then after that put the save file back into the cartridge. So in order to edit the noise report, you first need to figure out where the data is stored, what's the memory address. So what I did was I used tools under RAM search here, and this allows you to find values in the game, be it your currency or your money, etc. So what I did was I go into noise. Let's say this guy here, the lowest level I fought it at was 34. So what I did was I search equal to 34, and then after that fight him again at level 33. Then after that search 33, and level 32 fight him, search 32, and so on and so forth until I eliminate all the other values and addresses and figure out where this level 34 information is stored. So I found the address for 2 different noise, and then I use this to view memory, and let's say here noise 62, this was the address I found previously. I copy it in here, and then I went to the address here. So you see 22, which is 16 times 2 plus 2, giving you 34, which is correct. And then I noticed that, say for the next noise here, 63, you have 27, which is 16 plus B, which is 11, giving you 27. The addresses are stored 4 addresses apart, like say 2 here, the next one will be here, next one will be here, and so on and so forth for the entire noise report, as you can see in this region here, like from bottom here all the way up here. So this is the entire noise report. This made me wonder, what are the other 3 addresses used for? By editing them using action replay codes, I found that these 4 addresses, the first one stores the lowest level the noise is defeated at, and the next one determines how many stars there is, what are your pin unlocks for the noise. Like here I have all 4 of them, of this noise I only have the second star. And then after that, the next 2 addresses store the number of noise defeated, with the first digit being here at the D, and next one being at 1, and then the 3rd and 4th digits are actually in the address to the right. So here you see that I have 29 noise defeated, which is 16 plus A is 10, B is 11, C plus 13, 16 plus 13, giving you 29, which is correct. These addresses store a pair of hexadecimal codes, and to edit the noise report to what we want, we have to edit them using action replay codes. So let's say I finally want to get my pick noise here down to the lowest level defeated 1. What I do is I use cheats list, and these are action replay codes that I've already made, editing the 4 addresses as I explained. So this one changes the lowest level defeated. What it does is you first put 2 here for editing just one pair of hexadecimal, one address, and then this is the address that number is stored at. And then here we only want to edit a pair, so 64 here would be 100, the highest level, and then I want it to go to 1. So update this, activate the code, save, and then if I exit and go back to the noise report, you see that voila, I have the lowest level defeated at 1, so I can finally sleep in peace. I also played around with numbers above level 100, above 64, the hexadecimal, and it increases one by one as expected until 128, which is 7F, and then you exit and go back, you see it's 127. But above this, something strange happens. Say you change this to 80, update and save. The level here in the display is different from the one at the bottom display, and it shoots up to this very crazy high number. The one on top still counts properly, but it skips 40 levels for some strange reason. As for the display below, why it's such a high number, it's because it's counting backwards from 2 to the power of 16. So if you do lowest level is FF, the maximum value, save, you'll see that this would hit 65,535 to the power of 16 minus 1, so it's 1 below that, and that's the maximum you can go. So yeah, with the memory viewer, you can see that the edit we have made is changed in the memory. And then now we go on to try to edit the number of stars, which is once again we're only editing a pair of addresses, so you put a 2 in front, and then the address would be placed here, and then the value here. So for 4 stars right now, you'll be at 0F. Let's say you only want 1 star, you update it like this, save, and then you see over here in the memory viewer it's already changed to 01, and you see you only have your first star. So no star being 0 and having a star being 1, this increases in binary, such that for 1 you only have your 1 star, and then next you would increase the star to the right instead of just now we were explaining increasing to the left. So say you want it 02, in binary there will be 10, but here you'll see that it is the star on the right, so you have your 1 and 0, then so on and so forth. You can increase it to, say, if you want the star all the way to the right and the second star, that would be, what's that number, this will be 2, 4, there will be 8 plus 2, so you want 10. Update, save, and then you'll see here that you don't get what you want, and I don't know why, because 10 is 8, 10 is not 10. Oh my god, what am I doing? See, this is why you need to count in hexadecimal. So this would be 0, 8, 10, and then when you convert 10 in hexadecimal to binary, what you will have is 1010, which is what we want. This increase continues up to 0F, where you have all the stars filled in, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then if you go above 0F, which is what happened just now with 10, which is actually 16, it will loop around such that all your stars are empty again. and then if you go to 1 1, which is 17, it would cause the first star to appear again. So yeah, it just loops around that way. And this might be because they use modulo on the address, the number in the address here, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's how it works. So if you want your noise report to be fully filled in, you can set all the addresses to 0f. Last but not least, you can edit the number of noise defeated, which is these two addresses here. And then you go to your cheats, and for editing to address, instead of having 2 at the front of your action replay code, you want to have 1 to edit 2 addresses. If you want to edit 4 addresses at once, you can change this to 0. So after putting your address here, and then the value you can edit will be 4 numbers, which is say if you want the maximum possible will be FFFF, and normally it's not possible to go above number of defeated pick noise to go above 1, but here with this edit you can. And although the maximum number is supposed to be 65,535, beyond that you will have integer overflow, like what I covered in my previous video. You have integer overflow of damage, but here you have integer overflow of the number of noise defeated. So it should loop back to 0 if you fight another noise. And then if you notice, the counter here shows a very high number. This is 2 to the power of 32 minus 1. And yeah, for some strange reason it does this skip over to count backwards from that. Like for the lowest level you have the same issue. And yeah, so that's how you edit the number of noise defeated. But realistically, I don't think you will ever be able to experience the integer overflow, as that's a lot of noise you have to defeat. I hope this video helps on players trying to 100% the game. I hope to cover single playthrough threads next time, like if there's any way to get more than one of threads like my phones. I spent way too long trying to figure out how to edit the noise report this time round. For homework, you guys can try out if you can edit the number of pins, like under your master pins, whether you can get more than 1 or set it to whichever desired number you want, as well as like pins like the red pin and a rhyme pin. See if there's any way you can change it, since there's no way to sell it. And yeah, ask me questions down in the comments below, and please subscribe. I need 920 more subscribers. You can play around with the memory editing, try it out, and let me know what you find. And yeah, do check out The World Ends With You on the Nintendo DS, on its original console. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the upcoming anime. So till next time, see you guys.